So we'll sacrifice one of these, put them to 10, and if we can find a removal spell in upkeep, we can deal a ton of damage. Speak of the devil. Alright, so let's abrade the Geist, and I think we're gonna deal like 18 damage between Anji and attacking in like a turn and a half here. Let's see. Okay, so put them to 8, put them to 6, and then we attack for like 12. Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. Hello, Daily Drafters. Today is Friday, January 14th, and thanks for joining me for today's Daily Draft. As we get going here, I'd like to give a big ol' thank you to those in the subscriber community for choosing to spend a part of your day here with me. And for those of you that aren't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that red subscribe button attached to this video. Remember, it's absolutely free, will never cost you a dime, and you will then have access to the most consistent, high-quality MTG Limited content on YouTube. Alright, and here we are at Pack 1, Pick 1, and we've got an interesting one, that's for sure. So, let's take a look at the commons here. Best one being Bleed Dry, by far and away. Second best, probably Celebrants. Uncommons are all really good. Fellstinger, Biolume Egg, and Valorous Stance. Patchwork Crawler not being so great. So I think it's between Bleed Dry and probably Fellstinger at this point. There is Biolume Egg, but that's basically a blue-black gold card. It's very good in blue-black, but this is the kind of card you want to wheel to make sure you know blue-black is open. Valorous Stance is totally fine too. So between Bleed Dry and Fellstinger, I think I'm going to go Fellstinger, but this sends weird signals to our left about passing a Bleed Dry here while taking an uncommon over it, but I think Fellstinger is just a better card than Bleed Dry in general. It leads to more 2-for-1s, 3-for-1s if you can get the exploit fodder that you need for it. So we'll start with the Fellstinger here, and then see likely an Undead Butler. So this goes really well with Fellstinger because all you have to do is sacrifice the Butler turn 2 to turn 3 Fellstinger after the Butler can return, draw you 2 cards and return a creature from your graveyard, which is really, really good. Another good combo with Fellstinger is Undying Malice, so if this wheels, that's great. If any of these 3 black cards wheel, that'd be totally fine for us. I do like Stormchaser Drake, but with the Fellstinger, I think the Butler is going to go better with it. So we'll start like this, see where that goes. Okay, so interesting pick here. Whiff on the rare, but Hookhand Mariner is a good green card. Kessig Flamebreather is a good red card for certain red decks. Fierce Retribution is good removal. Vampire's Vengeance could go well in a deck like this. However, it does not go well with the first 2 picks that we have. There's a Ritual and a Gift of Fangs, both of which are like meh. I think I prefer Mariner or Retribution over these, but the advantage of these 2 cards is that they're both black, and we have 2 black cards already. So in the interest of wanting to play our first 2 picks, and Grisly Ritual being a fine enough removal spell, I think I'm going to take my first copy here over a Mariner or Retribution, something like that. These aren't even the top commons in their colors, so I'm not super pulled into those 2 colors just yet. And here we go, pick 4. Black is completely gone, as is very common in this format, which is why I hate starting black. But, alright, so we're going to take a second color here, and I don't really like branching in for any of these cards, to be honest. I think I'm going to take Flamebreather because we did see one. I doubt it wheels, but if you pick up enough of these, you can make a pretty solid deck revolving around non-creature spells with Flamebreathers. There is a Ceremonial Knife, but I'm going to speculate on this early Flamebreather and see where it goes. First signal so far is that Alluring Suitor is here, and we're definitely going to take that. Best card in the pack by far. Only black card is Ragged Recluse, which is like, meh, it's fine. Wolf is kind of like a green-red gold card. A couple good white cards here, so maybe red-white is seeing open, but we'll see where this goes. Let's just take the best card in this pack and move on to the next one. Definitely Circle of Confinement. Best card in this pack by a long shot. And again, only black card, Undying Malice. So, yep, looks like we're getting pushed off of black, as is normal in this format at this point. So we're just going to go ahead and take circle here and see where we go. So we have Militia Rallier, Statuette, Desperate Farmer. Statuette really only being good in really good in red-black, which is possible. We could end up there for sure. Desperate Farmer is a fine enough card that I'm willing to take it here. I know I said we're getting pushed off of black, but I don't think we're going to miss either of these two cards, whether we go red-white or white-whatever. So we'll just take the Farmer here. I think I'm fine taking an Epicure. Epicure is a decent enough card, and we're leaning red-black as of right now, but that could change with what we open in pack 2. We're not taking Dread Fugue. We're not taking any of these cards. Cradle is fine, but not really where we're headed. So we'll take the Epicure and see where this goes. Here on the wheel, I have at least one of each color here. I'll take the 2-drop in the colors that we know we very well might be and see where that goes. Malice did come back. There is an Ancestor though, and I think Ancestor is just the best card in this pack by a decent enough bit that I'm willing to take it here over a Malice. I think if we want a Malice, we'd be able to get one. So I'll just take the Ancestor, and then we're cut out of all 3 of our colors here, which is not great news. None of these cards really matter. So a bit of a messy pack 1 here. Let's hope we can get some direction with opening a really good card in pack 2. Or getting past 1 pick 2 so we can find some direction, because I don't think we have it yet with this deck. And we did not, because Splendid Reclamation is unplayable. So there's Valorous Stance and there's Voltaic Visionary as the 2 cards that stand out to me. I think I'm going to go with the Voltaic Visionary here. It's not a card I put in my deck often, but I think it's definitely good enough to consider playing. Yeah, there's Valorous Stance, Heron of Hope. There's a Lantern Bearer, but we're so far away from that. There's a Gluttonous Guest, which I do like, but I think Voltaic Visionary is just enough better than both of those to take it here. And we're still kind of towing this line. If we do end up red-black, we do not have the Vampire synergies needed to really make that go. So we're going to have to figure out a plan B in red-black if we do end up going there. Interesting. Okay, so our opponent took a common over Overcharged Amalgam and Bleed Dry. This is very difficult. Overcharged Amalgam is a really, really good card. But if we take blue at this point, I don't know if we make playables. I don't think white is happening. We could be red-blue, potentially. But there is a Bleed Dry here, and Bleed Dry is very, very good, obviously. This is a pick I wouldn't fault you going multiple ways for. Either Bleed Dry or Overcharged Amalgam. But I think we're just so far away from blue at this point that we need to take the Bleed Dry. That's a really difficult one, though. The fact that our opponent took or our neighbor to the left took a common over both of those cards makes me think that they are heavy red and took Bolt or a Braid, is my guess. So here we see another Bleed Dry. I think we're just going to slam that over Minister, which I do like. Consuming Tide is meh. So we'll do Bleed Dry here. And maybe in pack 3 we get hooked up with some of the red removal spells and we just kind of go red-black removal with a couple of creatures that can get through. Because I doubt from this way we're going to get access to red removal. As I say that, here's red removal. So I don't know what our neighbor is. So we're going to take the Bolt here. and maybe we wheel any one of these 3 black cards. I think we're leaning in towards red-black right now, but we don't really have a ton of synergies going on. I think Celebrants is good high-end here for our deck, though. This could be a way to help us finish after removing a lot of their stuff. So let's take our first Celebrants. Change of Fortune is nope. Belligerent Guest is fine, but I don't know if that's for our deck over a second Celebrants. I think I'd rather a second Celebrants here. I would play a Guest, obviously. If this wasn't here, I would take the Guest and probably happily play it. But I think I want to get another copy of Celebrants in here. We're looking pretty good on 2-drops. Although we do have to get rid of a couple of cards here. I'll keep this in case we find a way to splash, but right now I'm not sure. So we have Raconteur or Celebrant here. We don't really have the count for Raconteur, so I'm actually going to take the Blood Petal Celebrant and just let it be a decent enough 2-drop for us. Now there is Markov Retribution, and we currently have 5 vampires. So we have, including Celebrants, which are good with Retribution. So I think we can take this here and feel fine about it. So Heron of Hope came back along with the both guests, I guess. I think Gluttonous is better than Belligerent, so we're going to go ahead and take Gluttonous Guest here. Here's another one. Good to see that. So I think red-black is enough open that we found what I think is the correct deck for our seat, but like I've mentioned multiple times this format has been different than others in ways that I've found that it's hard to get good cards. Like sometimes, even if the deck is open, sometimes you just don't get past the good cards in those colors. You know, like we've seen one Bolt or a Braid. We do have a couple Bleed Drives, but we just don't have all the completely necessary pieces to make red-black tick. And that doesn't matter anymore because now we have Anji, and this card is absolutely busted. We've had, I think, 2 trophies with this card so far. So yeah, we're just going to take Anji and don't look back. Looks like we were rewarded for going into red-black here. Here is a copy of a Braid. And with these 2 picks, I think the deck is really starting to come together now. So we've got Bolt, we have a Braid, we have Anji, we have double Bleed Dry, we now have a Restless Bloodseeker. I mean, things are really starting to go our way with this draft, for sure. So we're definitely taking Bloodseeker here. Maybe we wheel any of these 3 cards. Be totally fine playing any of them. But we're going to take Bloodseeker. And we don't really need to look to splash here. Probably don't need Ridge Wolf. Definitely don't need Runebound Wolf. Let's see here. So Diagraph Scavenger is the card I think I like most. There is Bloodcrazed Socialite, which is good. Another Guest and another Recluse. So there's probably something that's going to come back here, but I'd like to sure up our first copy of Scavenger. I really do like this card. Let me make sure our curve... Yeah, our curves looks fine for a Scavenger. So now we have Celebrants or a Ritual. We don't need another point of discussion with one already. So I think we'll go 3rd Celebrants. I don't know if we'll play 3. I doubt we're playing 2 Rituals, and I know we're not playing 2 Discussions. So this has the most likelihood of making our deck here. Now we've got Malice, which really only works well with Butler and Fellstinger, I guess. So kind of works well with Scavenger and stuff, but there's a Lightning Wolf, Weary Prisoner. I guess we'll take Malice. We're not really going to play any of these other cards. I doubt we're playing Malice either, so we'll have to see on that front. So another Epicure would make this Fellstinger much better, because this is a great body to sacrifice. There is another good body to sacrifice in Specimen or even Doom Descender. There is also just a Belligerent Guest here, which might be better for us. Persistent Specimen really only works with Fellstinger. We don't have a lot of other pieces for it. I guess it works with Anji, but Anji doesn't really need help. So I'm just going to take the Guest here. And then we see Fearful Villager. I doubt we're running that. but who knows. Blood Petal Celebrant is fine for us. We'll take a second Celebrant. None of these cards matter for us. And the Epicure did come back, which is very nice. Now this makes this Felstinger package much better here. So we have 2 Epicures going into Felstinger, which is going to be really good. I don't think Flame Breather is going to work for us. We have 7, but we're probably not going to play all of those. So I think we can probably cut Kessig Flame Breather here. And we'll see what else to do in deck build. Okay, so with this, we'd only need 3 cuts. I like all of our non-creatures, maybe Grisly Ritual being the worst. I don't think we need Fearful Villager. Desperate Farmer could be on the chopping block. How many vampires do we have? 13. Wow, okay, that's great. So Retribution's going to be really good. Point of Discussion, I think, is going to be good. Well, we have a bunch of blood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have a lot of ways to make blood, so I don't even think we need Point of Discussion. So then it comes down to maybe one of these 3 drops, or a Grisly Ritual, or a 3rd Celebrants. I think 3 Celebrants is actually fine for this deck, because we do need a little bit of top end here as well. I think I want to keep the Ritual, actually. Well, no. Here's why I'm going to cut the Ritual, actually. With 3 Celebrants, and when they give us 2 blood tokens every time, we are highly incentivized to not want more than 5 lands on the battlefield at any point. Now, Anji does give us an incentive to want 6, but not enough that with 3 Celebrants, as soon as we get to 5, we're going to want to be pitching those lands, and there's going to be some disconnect between wanting to pitch those extra lands and playing a 6-drop. So I think we can actually cut Grisly Ritual and run it back like this. We still have a ton of creatures, 18, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 removal spells plus a pump / removal spell. So 5 removal spells, which is still good. So I think this is actually a good way to run this one back. Looks good to me. Sure. All right, as we get into the first match here, I wanted to remind you here that at Daily Draft, we make sure we post every draft that we record, win or lose. Obviously, I'd love for every draft on this channel to be a trophy, but I think there's still value in learning from mistakes and underperforming decks. So we're here to make sure that you can learn at least something from each and every video here on the channel. Okay, so obviously need a 3rd and or 4th land, but we do have something we can play in the meantime. Not wanting another 5-drop here, so we're going to need another land. And they have Flame Blast Bolt, so that doesn't help us. There we go, right on time. And I think I'm actually just going to play the Guest here. It blocks well enough, makes a blood in case we miss it next turn. Okay. Do we play Anji into potential removal? It's either that or just play a random 3-mana 3/2 Death Touch, which is not good on this board. So I think I'm actually just going to play Anji. I know it exposes her to removal, but it dominates this board, and it's the most mana efficient thing we can do. Okay, so they didn't have the Bleed Dry, which is good. They can kill Anji, so we don't want to attack with her. We'll play Celebrants here. And we're just going to have all of the blood. No attacks. Okay. Fair. At least we still have our Anji. Here is a moment where I will play our 6th mountain because of Anji. Being able to activate this 3 times is going to be big. So let's play Celebrants, and then our 6th land here. And then pass. And hopefully Anji survives one more turn, and then we can just, like, take 3 turns to drain them out. Okay. Alright. So let's go to combat. And we will attack with Celebrants. That's fine by me. Okay. Yeah, that's still fine. So we could play a land, play Fellstinger, and then activate Anji twice, but I'd rather get value out of Fellstinger with one of the Epicures or a random 2/2 or whatever that we have. So I'm actually just going to pass. That resolves. Is this a human? No, it's not. So we do not want to sacrifice a creature, so they can have a 3/3 flyer. Okay. Alright, so... I think we just have to do the same thing again. They can't really get overzealous in attacking, because we can hit them back with Anji if they don't have good blocks. So, I think we just have to pass and then drain them for another 6. Don't really have another better option. Because we want to get rid of these lands with blood, but we also want to use them to gain 3 life and drain them for 2 every time with this Gluttonous Guest on the battlefield. So they're really digging for an answer to Anji here. Okay, so they have a combat trick, which we're not going to play into. So we're going to have to take 10. But again, we're gaining 9 because of Anji, so no blocks. Okay. Yeah, so constantly drawing lands while getting rid of our blood tokens does not help in the slightest. So I think I'm going to play a land, play Fellstinger, because at least it blocks. We could play this and sacrifice itself to draw 2 cards, which could be good. We could play sacrifice the Gluttonous Guest so that this can block something, because Gluttonous Guest doesn't really block well on this board. It is gaining us more life, but I'm not sure that's going to be the thing that helps us survive here. So I think we need to play Fellstinger, and I'd actually like... Now, there's a chance we can Fellstinger them, but since we've already played it, actually, that might have been a bit of a mistake here. I think we could have just drained them 3 more times, played Fellstinger next turn, and killed them. But I'm actually just going to get this value now. yet another land. We'll play one of them, hold up 2, and slash Abrade. We can attack with Anji here, because if they have a combat trick, we can just Abrade this away if they try to use it. They could also have Abrade and like block here and then Abrade this down, which would not work. So maybe we Abrade and then attack. That goes a long way in getting us closer to killing them. So let's do that, actually. Because now they're going to go to... Yeah, they're going to basically go to 2 if we do that. So that works. Anji's good. Okay, we're on the draw. 1-0 here, and we'll keep it. I know it's a little slow, but hopefully they don't go turn 1 Traveling Minister into something else. Oh, look. Surprise, surprise. It's alright. Hopefully we can... Alright, well this is a problem already. We're going to have to bleed dry that very quickly, because now we're just going to die. To a Voice of the Blessed. Wow, what a combo. That worked out pretty well for them. I think we're going to have to chump block the Voice here. Because we can't... We're going to take 6 next turn. We just have to bleed dry it. So I think we're going to have to chump block it with Visionary this turn. Which feels bad, but it's all we have to do. Because that's one of the most powerful starts I've seen in this format. So we're going to chump here. They obviously have a trick for this. But we probably need to make them use it. Because if we miss another land, we have to go guest and chump block again. Okay, maybe they didn't have the trick. Yeah, that's weird. And of course we missed the land. So, let's go another guest. I guess we don't have to chump it this time, but we're going to be taking 7. I guess we can take 7 just to preserve our board here. Well, now we can't block, and then we're dead next turn if we don't draw land. So that was fun. Well, at least there's the land. So I'm doing this now, just to get it out of here. And no attack. So maybe we can survive. Again, they probably have a combat trick if they're going to attack with this. Or they're just going to kill it. Okay. So at least we can go Scavenger next turn, which can block it. We have another Bleed Dry, but we need to get on the board here. So let's go Scavenger. We'll get rid of Celebrant. It's going to be really close. We're just trying to find a way to turn the corner here. And they just have another removal spell. So if we can just survive maybe one more top deck for them, maybe we can get out of this. So we could just Bleed Dry this, but to guarantee that they don't really have good attacks. Because if we play Celebrants and they have another removal spell like Lacerate Flesh or Fierce Retribution, then we go to 1. And if we Bleed Dry this now, That's difficult. I think we might need to try to save this for a flyer, because again, we only go to 1 if they remove it. So, we're not technically dead. We could go Anji and then use a blood token to gain a life if we have to, but let's go Celebrants. Well, yeah, let's go Celebrants. And then if we survive this turn with both of these creatures, then I think we might have stabilized. Okay, Weary Prisoner. Okay. Alright, so we have 5 lands. We can go Bloodseeker plus Retribution, but this can only kill, like, the villager, basically. We can go Anji. Hold up Blood activation. Let's go Bloodseeker, and then we can kill the villager with the Celebrants. Or with the Retribution, I mean. We get both, right? Yeah, choose both. Target a vampire you control, and we'll kill that one. Then we can flip this. And I don't think we want to attack. Well, we can get in there with this, because this is not going to be able to attack. So, yeah, we can get in there with Celebrants now. And if they just pass it to flip it, we can bleed dry that. Okay, I think we do want another mountain. So let's just get rid of this now. And yeah, I'm trying to think of ways that they could punish us here for doing this, but I'm just in case. I don't think we're in a rush to attack with everything. So I'm gonna just get in there with those. That 1 point of damage isn't gonna be the end all be all of this game. So I'm gonna leave that back just in case. Okay. Alright. And they have one last land in hand, which is good news for us. Alright, so we'll play Anji and then kind of hold down the fort here. And end turn. So we were able to just turn that corner. There was like a pivotal moment where if they didn't top deck like another removal spell, we could have lost. But, or if they did, we could have lost. But we seem to avoid that, which is good. So if they attack with Geist, we have to block it just to be sure. And they missed their trigger there. So we'll do that. We can abrade here. And that should do it. There we go. Alright, 2-0 here into round 3, playing against one of my favorite names that I've played against here yet. We'll keep it. It's a little slow, obviously, 4-drop, 5-drop, but we do have early removal, and we have a lot of 3-drops that we can draw as well. There's one of them. Even if we don't get the value out of this, at least it could be something that could help us stabilize. Okay. Gluttonous Guest. I guess we just have to play Belligerent Guest here. Doom Dissenter, okay. And they're going to leave up possibly Syncopate. So we're definitely not playing Anji into that. Let's attack. And if they block with Guest, we can abrade it and then still get in there with the blood token. I don't know if we want to be using abrade on that, though. Okay. Get that blood token. And in the interest of mana efficiency, I know we're not getting the most value out of Felstinger here, but not playing Anji into a potential Syncopate, that's very bad news for us if that happens. And we don't have anything we really want to bleed dry here. We could just leave up a Braid plus blood token, but I don't know what the value of doing that is either. So let's just play a Felstinger. We could also just sacrifice this Belligerent Guest to draw 2 cards. Guarantees us, not guarantees, but gets us really, really close to a 5th land next turn. This is an underwhelming card. It does get us a 2-for-1. It's already gotten us a blood token. So I think I'm actually just going to do that. Target ourselves here. We did not hit another land, so we might have to use this blood to get rid of something. Lots of 5/4s in our hand here. Okay, so obvious counterspell mana coming up, so let's... guess we'll pitch the Celebrant, because that's not really super impactful on this board. Miss another land drop, miss another land drop, jeez. Okay, Bolt on Dissenter is going to be pretty good for us. Let's see if they want to counter a Desperate Farmer. Nope, okay. Let's go to combat. We'll attack, because it has Death Touch. We'll do Gluttonous Guest first, and then we'll try to bolt this. We'll see if they want to counter that. Okay, and then they'll bleed dry. That's fine. I mean, at least it kind of helped one of our other things survive here. Like Anji, they don't have to use it on Anji and stuff now, so that's good. And they're down to 2 cards, and we have 6. So I think we are winning in the card advantage department. Now they have 3, 4. Okay, well, good value pitching that Disturbed Creature. Okay, that's also good news for us. Land, thank you. Let's just start with Celebrants here. This is good enough on this board here. So we have kind of 3 really good threats, a smaller removal spell and a catch-all removal spell, 2 of them. So I think we're kind of set up well for this game. Interesting, they're going to get rid of the Gluttonous Guest here. Okay. Restless Bloodseeker could be very good. There's another Celebrant as well. They could have Syncopate for X = 1, and I think it's fine to play around that at this point, because we just have so much gas in our hand right now. We could do Bloodseeker plus Abrade the Assistant. I think I'm just going to do that. Well, no, we can hold up Abrade in case they go for, like, Lantern Bearer on it. So let's go Bloodseeker. Let's sacrifice 2 to transform it. And we'll hold up a Braid. So let's try to kill this. Totally fine if they want to use their Syncopate on this. There it is. Good. So we got that out of their hand. We did suspect that they had it. There's a chance they have another one. But we did get one of them out of their hand. So I think I'm just going to play another Celebrants here post-combat. So we're just baiting out all their removal to make sure this Anji can stick. So they did not counter that. I feel like if they had a counterspell, they would have used it. So Anji is good to go for next turn. And I'd like to play her with having 2 mana up so we can at least have an activation ready. Alright, that's pretty good. I think I'm actually going to get rid of the Reveler here. Reason being is because we can bleed dry this, put them to 2. There's the land. Let's bleed dry that and put them to 2. And then we can play Visionary here. Now we have a bunch of lethal threats. There we go. Okay, 3-0 on the draw. Good hand. Nice to see you, Epicure. It's been a while. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty good hand there. They did not get priority with 1 forest, so they did not have Massive Might in hand, at the very least. Sporeback Wolf, okay. Let's play Celebrant. No attacks. Can't block. They did not get priority for an instant. Probably just going to play a 3-drop here. There it is. We're just going to be mana efficient and play Gluttonous Guest. Still can't attack. So we're kind of playing small ball here this game, and there's a chance they could just start dropping like Hookhand Mariner into something else, into Flourishing Hunter, which could be bad news for us. But let's see what they do first before we get ahead of ourselves here. Well, isn't that convenient? That's probably like the best flip they could have had using Reckless Impulse here. Because they've already played a land this turn too, so... Did that a bit out of order, but did not get punished for it. So we can't really block here because they can just bolt something down. So we have to take that. So do we leave up Bleed Dry? I mean, I hate using Bleed Dry on one of these creatures, but gosh. It's either that or we play Blood Petal Celebrant and not really do much else. So we kind of have to just hold up Bleed Dry here. See if they want to bolt something on our turn. Probably going to bolt the Blood Petal Celebrant. There it goes. Makes sense. And that flips because we didn't have a spell to play, so I think we do have to Bleed Dry the Werewolf here. So now they have a combat trick. But again, we're going to have to make them use it. So we'll pass to blockers, we'll block here. And let them use that combat trick. And then here comes Witch's Web or Massive Might or something, and then we're just going to go ahead and Bleed Dry this one. Maybe just another Bolt or a Braid. Yeah, that's fine. So they 2-for-1 themselves to get rid of the Guess, which I'm fine with. Actually, no, because this survives, so. Alright. Good draw there with Fell Stinger. Because we can sacrifice the Epicure now. So let's do that. We'll sacrifice the Epicure. Draw 2 cards. I know we lose 2 life, but we want those cards. I mean, we want those lands. Then we'll play Blood Petal Celebrant and flip it back to deck. Feels bad to block the Sporeback Wolf with the Fell Stinger, but we might just have to do that. Just to preserve some life here. Yeah, like I said, we're probably just going to have to do that. And hopefully nothing too big. That is something a little frightening. Oh, look, more lands. Let's play Celebrants, and then we'll use one of these blood here. Oh, pass the turn. Hopefully they don't kill Celebrants. That's kind of our holding down the board for us here. Okay, that's good news. So they don't have a combat trick. Bleed Dry is good. Does flip to Night. I think we need to kill this now, because that can get out of hand. Okay, so they had Wolf Strike. So they're going to kill our Celebrants. So that resolves. Let's actually pitch one of these here first, see if we find something. Something for next turn is fine. Alright, so that'll happen. Then it'll die. And we'll just have to pass. Feels bad to trade this for a 1/1, but again, we might have to do that. Because we're winning this long game if we can get there. We have like 2 more Celebrants plus an Anji deck. So, alright, so they're not even going to attack with the 1/1. Fine with that. And a Runebound Wolf. Okay. We're going to want to kill that if we can. Gluttonous Guest and Belligerent Guest. In the interest of mana efficiency, I think we need to play these 2 here. So we'll do that. We'll flip it back to day. But this Runebound Wolf is going to be a problem if we can't get rid of it here soon. So we will need to find an answer to that. Have we used the Abrade? We have not used the Abrade. We have not used Flame Blessed Bolt, but we've done double Bleed Dry. So we have a Bolt, an Abrade, and a Markov, whatever, +1/+0 deal damage to get rid of that wolf. There's another one. I guess the Anji also does some work here, doesn't it? So let's go to combat. We can attack with the guest here now. All right. So Anji's going to do a great job offsetting what the wolf is going to do. Okay. Resolve. I'm just going to gain this life now in the event that they draw a wolf. Then we can't activate because they could do this in response and kill us. So I'm just going to activate this. Make sure we can get up to a safe enough life total to not die. Okay. They're going to try to be doing multiple damage with that now. Do we have a creature in the yard? We do, so we can still get the value off a scavenger. So they're debating if they want to play this as another creature now or use the wolf activation. I think they need to use the wolf activation, play this next turn, and then have an activation for 4. Okay, so here's the removal spell for it. So why don't we just do that? So we'll do both. Target vampire. Deals it to the Runebound Wolf. They'll hit us for 3. We're just gonna sacrifice another one of these because we can. Resolves. We can go to combat. We could just hit them like this, I think. Well, let's keep this back. You know, I think being conservative here is going to be fine. They can't kill the Anji because they only have 4 power. They can't really have good blocks on the Celebrant either, so we'll get in with 2. And I'm not sure what they could draw, but we'll see if they can draw something. That won't do it. Awesome. Okay, so we're first here, and we can't keep a 1-lander, so we're going to get rid of that. We'll keep 6 here, and I guess we'll get rid of Markov Retribution. Doesn't feel good, but 2-drop into 3-drop is going to be important for us, so... See what we've been. Got rid of a Bleed Dry there, which doesn't feel great. It's a pretty good draw. Let's go guest. And we won't be blocking with this, so let's get in. Would like another land coming up here so we can go farmer and hold up bolt. So they're digging for land. Okay, they have double anger, alright. 5-1 first strike trample. Holy moly, how many angers are they going to have? I guess we're taking 8. Okay, that's good. So we'll go Desperate Farmer. And then get in with Butler again. Okay, so they found their second color. Okay. Can't do anything about that. We'll go ahead and get rid of this now. And then we can get in there with everything. Although we're not winning this race with all the 1/1s, so let's hold back the guest for now. Well, we do have a lifelinker. Yeah, let's get in with everything. And then we'll just play Celebrant and pass the turn here. We could think about trading. Oh, jeez. Okay. We need the Abrade now. Alright. Guess we can get in with everything again. Maybe they trade with the farmer. They don't have any creatures in the yard yet, which is good. I think we can still get in with everything. I know they could trade for this farmer. Well, but the more 1/1s they make, the harder it is going to be for us to attack into all of them. Okay, so they will do that. Then we'll just play guests and pass. Don't think this long game is working out for us just yet. They are red-white, so there's a smaller chance they'll have bigger creatures. But who knows? Alright, well there's a bigger creature. Which is not good. Another not good draw. So let's get rid of it. It doesn't even do anything here. And we are going to need this land for Celebrants next turn, so we have to keep it. And no attacks. So they're probably going to have 13 permanents. The good news is they don't have a good target to get if they want to get rid of the Uprising. Okay, so we'll get back our Diregraph Scavenger. There's 11 permanents, there's 12, and the human will make 13. So do they want to sacrifice this to deal 7? They don't. I think we just have to go Falconwrath Celebrants here. Let's first get in with Guest. Okay. We'll trade there. Then I think we just go Celebrants. They now have something they can use for Dollhouse. Okay. Goes to Knight. Which doesn't really matter. We could attack with this Celebrants and trade here. But if we do that, that would be fine, because then we can scavenger it away. Then they can't get another one. So let's actually do that. Okay, that's good. So we'll kill the Pyre Spawn. They're probably going to deal 3 to Blood Petal Celebrant here. There's that. And then we'll get rid of that Pyre Spawn. There we go. So do we want to pitch the Blood Petal Celebrant to one of these? I think we probably do. I think we could do better than this at this point. There's something to be said about just making a 1/1 every turn. It's pretty difficult to deal with. Okay. That's something we don't want for sure. Alright, well, let's trade for 3 of these, I guess. Or at least attempt to. Okay. And we'll just play another Celebrants here. And end the turn. Lantern Flare. Wow, that's a good one. Okay. Gosh, the deck of rares here. Lantern Flare, Uprising, Dollhouse. It's been pretty good. This has Menace, can't block it. Make another 1/1. Bleed Dry is not great on this board, to be honest. But let's see what we can find here. Don't care about that either. We'll just get rid of it. There's Anji. Okay, so I think I'm going to play the Blood Petal Celebrant here just as a body on this board, because this is what we're going to need to have survive. So let's play that. They aren't getting priority anymore, which means they don't have an instant. So that's good. We don't need to attack with Guest. So we've gotten lucky that every time we played Anji this draft, they haven't killed it. So let's hope that happens again. So if we play it now, we can't leave up an activation for it. But I think getting it on the board is going to be good. Yeah, so let's play her. And then we'll pass and hope that she survives. No more lantern flares, I guess? Maybe they could like double a braid or something. Wow, okay. They have 4 angers so far. Don't think we need to trade for that. Heron of Hope might be a bleed dry target. So here's 6. So I think we can bleed dry the Heron and then hold up an Anji activation. So now we'll pass. Alright, there's why they had all the angers in the deck. They'll make another 1/1. We'll drain them for 2. And because we want to be using all of these to drain, I'm going to do this, play a guest, which still lets us have up 2 activations, and we're going to gain 4 life every time we sacrifice one now. There we go, the power of Anji. Okay, here we are, 5-0 on the play. Yeah, we'll keep it. I mean, we have at least 3 cards we can cast, and a black opens up the hand, and then we're kind of off to the races from there. There we go. Never didn't have it. Do we want to go Bloodseeker or Celebrant? We'll probably go Celebrant first. It attacks better. Oh, surprise, surprise. So we'll get in with ours. And then I'm probably just play Bloodseeker on the backside. Blocks well. Okay, so that's something we need to try to... So what we can do is we can abrade this and then next turn scavenger it away. Because I can't see them getting 2 blood tokens and having a black open to get it back. So let's first attack with Celebrant. Okay. I think I want to do that plan. I want to abrade the forebear. And then exile it next turn. I know it's not the most mana efficient thing to do, but we're actually going to do that now. Because if it hits us, they get a blood token, and I don't want to like get it to their turn, try to abrade it, and then something goes haywire. Okay, they have a 4/3. First strike that we can't block. And there's Belligerent Guest, okay? So we need to get rid of that now, basically. And then we can get in here, although we're going to be taking 7. We're probably going to block one of them, though. So let's get in with Celebrant. Alright, so now we're taking 7. That's not good news. Alright, this is getting difficult here. They're having a good curve out. So we need to Retribution away the Blood Tithe Harvester. So we'll have both these happen. We'll do this to here. We could get them for 5 now, but then we're taking 7. So they're going to go to 10 and we're going to go to 4. That's not good enough. We're not blocking with the Bloodseeker. So we can leave this back to block with the guest. Let's go to combat and attack here then. Then we'll end the turn. Okay, that happens. Can't block there. And we're probably going to have to leave Bleed Dry up for that. Ah, jeez. Okay. Don't think Visionary is going to do us any good on this board. So let's get rid of it. Land, land. Okay, so I think we have to leave up Bleed Dry for this. Block here, take 1, 2, take 4. And then hopefully don't die to a Courier Bat. Okay. Isn't that convenient? We're still taking 4 here. Sounds about right. Alright. So we're basically dead. So let's do this. I played that in case we can find Anji here. So that we can play her and activate her. So we'll get rid of the Fell Stinger because it doesn't do anything. Bleed Dry probably doesn't do anything either. Desperate Farmer doesn't do anything. So we could play Bleed Dry here. They just kill this and hit us for 3. So none of this will do it. So we have to get rid of something. That also won't do it. Heck of a curve out. Just got curved out on there. Okay, so we're now 5-1. We'll keep it. We're on the draw. So we'll have access to this mana. Red, white. So which one do I want to die? Probably this one. So they'll go ahead and kill it. And then next turn, we probably just have to play the Visionary. Wish we could kill that, but we can't, so they're going to get all kinds of value now. We'll just play this then. Jeez. Alright, so we're probably going to die to a bunch of flyers. Yep, sounds about right. Take 5. We probably have to try to find something here. I don't think we're ever going to get to the point where we're going to cast 2 Celebrants, so let's get rid of 1. There's a land, at the very least. I think we have to do Anji here. So that we can start trying to drain, and next turn we can Retribution something. So let's play her and hope she survives. If she doesn't, I think we're dead, so... Okay. At the very least, it's something we can block. Alright, so let's try to do this. See if they have Valorous Stance. Yep, there's the Adamant Will. Close enough. Resolves. And we can't attack because we're going to be hit for 10 again. So, pass the turn. So if they have like an Abrade, I think if they attack with everything, as much as I don't want to do it, we have to double block here, because we're going to be taking 7 and then be dead next turn. Or we basically just die this turn, actually. Yeah, that's nice. So we have to double block. God, okay, well this has been absolutely brutal. Everything was going smoothly, and then now we're taking 8 and losing both of our creatures. And can't even... oh gosh, okay, sure, whatever. You do your thing. Okay. Go another land. Do this. At least this lets us survive. And then we'll get in. And that should do it in their favor. Yeah, I don't see a way out of that. Alright. See if we can rally here in round 9 for the trophy. Actually, we're only 5 and 2. Alright, so after getting absolutely wrecked by 2 aggro decks, let's see if we can actually survive this one here. No white. I don't want to see white from them. Okay. So... I know they could have Flame Blessed Bolt, but I want to try to get this down. Of course they have it. Why do they always have it? Alright, well there goes that. So let's see what they follow up with. Probably the best follow-up they could have had. So we can go Celebrant next turn, Retribution down their Flame Breather. Okay, so we'll miss our land drop here, and then kill that. And get in for 3. Boy, the wheels on this bus certainly came to a halt after round round 3 there, or round 5, didn't it? Alright, so we'll miss another land drop, and we'll have to go ahead and kill this. They have Alchemist Retrieval to retrieve it back to their hand. And then we'll go ahead and get in for 2. And slowly and surely wrap up this video. It was all going so smoothly. And then we just died. Okay, maybe too little too late. Let's do Butler and Celebrant, I guess. Okay, so we can get back a Gluttonous Guest at the very least. Okay. So let's double block Dancer here. Okay. Fine by me. And then I guess we will return Gluttonous Guest. And then they'll play a flyer that's going to slowly and surely kill us because we don't have an answer to flyers. Alright, so they can counter any creature we play at some point, so we have to land something here, so I guess we could play Epicure Fellstinger, try to draw out of this in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so Bolt is going to be a good answer for Wandering Mind. Okay. See if they want to counter Gluttonous Guest. Fine by me, and then we'll go ahead and kill this one. Or at least attempt to. Hopefully no syncopate. He says as he gets syncopated. Alright, everything resolves. Yeah, can't attack. So we'll pass. I wonder if we need to get rid of one of these Celebrants here, because we need to find an answer for the Wandering Mind. Problem is we've used a Braid and Flame Blast Bolt already, so we just have, and Retribution, so now we just have 2 Bleed Dries. Okay, resolves. We could eat this, but then they're going to put it on that and keep drawing more cards. So I think we have to block here, which again feels really bad. But jeez. So we have to find the Bleed Dry. We have no choice but to find the Bleed Dry for the Wandering Mind. So we'll do this. Okay, that'll probably kill us next turn. So we're dead next turn if we don't find a Bleed Dry. And even if we do, I think we're basically still dead. Well, speak of the devil. Okay, so we're going to have to Bleed Dry that, but I want them to try to use this Catgeist on it first. Although they don't even have to, we're just dead if they don't even use this. So let's see if they make a mistake and accidentally do that. Okay, that resolves. They're playing very, very well here because now we have to let this through, so they're going to draw a card. They know we have a removal spell for that. So we have to trade here, kill that, and let this through. And then all they need is one more non-creature for us to die. And it looks like they have it already in hand, so yep, there we go. All right. So We were 5-0, and then abruptly halted there at the end to 5-3, which really sucks, but cruising along and then lost them all. So sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. So yeah, don't worry, everything will be all right. We've got, I mean, I'd take a 5-3 any day of the week, you know. Don't forget to stick around to the end of the video to toggle through our Crimson Vow trophy playlist or to find the last video in case you missed it. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you on Tuesday for your daily draft.